Hello, lovies. Thanks for joining. Felt called to do another reading, so I'm gonna go with the dice rolling zodiac thing. If you haven't watched the other videos lately, basically I'm just using zodiacs as pointers. It can be your sun, moon, rising, whatever house, planet you're focusing on. You know, just if you're here, you're here. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And so I'm going to begin today with the dice roll. Pisces, okay. A lot of water coming through lately. Venus, Libra. Love, money, beauty, aesthetics, receiving. Receiving is a theme here. Romantic receiving is a theme. Seems to be a theme throughout all of the zodiacs lately. Romance, inner child, play, inner fulfillment. All right, and eighth house also feels relevant. Yes, intimacy, sex, bonding, shared money and property. I circulate. Something important here about receiving, allowing yourself to receive as a form of giving to yourself, and then that allowing circulation of continued abundance in that format through bonding, romance. Basically, romancing oneself so that others can align with that template of your romantic desires and needs. Let's see. Pisces. I'll leave that up. Eight and five may be important numbers. Okay. Six of Wands coming through on the deck here. Moving on to greener pastures through flight. Pentacles, slowest moving knight in the deck, but for long-term fulfillment. So having patience is a theme here. Trusting the process. All right, let us do a reading for Pisces, please. Is coming through for the things to let go of that aren't serving. It's very sticky. There's an attachment of some kind. Thank you. Let's put you here for now. All right. So, King of Cups, Seven of Stones, Two of Cups. Heavy water element, fulfillment. I get the vision of a very strong flowing river, not necessarily fast, but you can tell that there's a lot of force, just the energy radiating off it. There's something here moving with great force, unstoppable, inevitable strength, strong. You carry a great strength on your back in your own antique, own unique, quirky way. You're very colorful and pure. That is your strength. You're also physically stronger than you tend to allow yourself to think. Or rather, the ego feeds thoughts of incapability, but that's an illusion, that is a lie. That was conditioned. Seven of Stones. Seven of Pentacles. Alright. So there is a fluctuation, but overall teetering on the side of abundance where you're already tapping into, in tune with your abundance in whatever way that looks like, with the Cups and Pentacles pulling through at the top here. I get the sense that there is like something physical, tangible that you're already seeing, but it's not quite settled yet, and so there can be some fluctuating doubt thoughts that come through with that. Two of Cups. I believe it was Libra's reading, so there might be, you might have ties to Libra. Not ties, but like in your chart you may also have Libra as one of your top 3 placements. There's two of Cups here, so there's, I get the sense of 2 opportunities or 2 areas of abundance that are already coming to you, that you've already gotten a taste of. I say a taste of because this particular card shows somebody like actually drinking water out of two people drinking water out of 2 cups, and there's a entwinement, or not even an entwinement, like there are 2 things that are manifesting that are very close to each other in some way, but they aren't like enwrapped in the other. So if you decide to not go with one, that's not going to take away from the other that you have. That said, if you decide to continue forth with both of these things, to receive and accept both of these areas of abundance, then that's only going to serve to strengthen the roots that you have here and to help you blossom further. There's emphasis on one of these areas of abundance is more rooted and more about setting steady foundations for yourself, while the other one is more of allowing yourself to be seen and showing your true colors. Being fully embodying your truest essence and letting that show to the world, to Gaia, to the people here. And so one sets the foundation for the other, but isn't necessarily dependent on the other. All right. Things to let go of. High Priestess, 2 of Stones. There's something, okay, so what is not serving you? What you need to let go of is complete reliance on intuition and the universe. Like basically, there's a call for grounding here in your decisions, because with 2 of Stones, so 2 of Pentacles, it's, to me, it's pointing to the 2 of Cups. So there are these 2 areas of abundance and fulfillment that are occurring for you now, shifting in now. And there needs to be a sense of practicality applied to that, because otherwise these 2 opportunities are just they're just gonna float, and it's not going to actually root. It's not going to stay. It's just going to be more of a fleeting experience, which isn't all in all bad in itself, but the King of Cups here, the Harvest of Cups being your primary card, you're looking for sustainable fulfillment, emotional fulfillment, and that can only happen with these current shifts if you are actually rooting these things down. So you can still tap in with your intuition. I'm not saying black and white thinking, let's just like go with no intuition at all. I think there's been this more recently a reliance on intuition and just kind of like Jesus take the wheel sort of thing, to where you're just like, the universe is going to do what it wants to do, so I'm just going to flow with that and hope it works out. But with this, there's a call to step back from that and, plant your feet on the ground and really think, okay, here are these two things, what can I do to support these in a tangible, practical way, like actually maybe writing down some goals, some steps, or just things to consider for like daily routines and habits. Routine is a word that is coming up a lot. Routine, ritual, just habits, like intentional habits. I don't even like using the word habits right now because it comes with a lot of stigma of like bad habits and whatever. Like just actions and or intentional inactions and stillness to support these areas of abundance is what needs to happen. So don't just go, hands off the wheel and like, I'm gonna trust the universe and just leave it at that. Like, trust the universe always, and trust yourself to also be a driver, a person directing, where you want to go intentionally, because the universe will support you in that, and you now have the direction to choose what you want to do. Like, no matter what you do right now, it's going to be serving for you. And so you might as well just choose what you really want, because right now you have all of the water, all of the cups here to drink out of, and all of this opportunity for these things to be grounded right now. So really take advantage of this is the biggest thing right now. Like, you have great opportunities, great abundance. Do what you want, because it is within it is within your access right now. Not even within reach. Like, I don't even want to say that, because that insinuates that there's even any kind of distance. It's already here. Like, it's already right in front of you. So it's just which glass you want to drink out of. You can choose multiple. What do you want? Sit down with yourself, get inside yourself and really allow yourself to explore, not just think about, because there's a lot of conditioning there, but to explore and feel out what feels like bliss to you. All right, we have 7 of Wands. The thing that's coming through with this card is let it burn. I think there's some anger here. This is also a theme with the water elements, at least lately, or just the signs lately, is if there's something that's making you angry, let that anger burn and simmer. Don't just try to put it out with your water. Don't try to just label it as peace. There's something serving here, manifesting as anger. If it might be something to do with an injustice you're experiencing, or an injustice somebody else is experiencing, or somebody's. Ooh, that's interesting. This is a very specific message for somebody. There's somebody that you've kind of, like, there's literally a crow on this person's shoulder. There's somebody who's kind of been like devil's advocate, and you've been experiencing that as something you've been perceiving that as something that's like in a good way, but really this person's just kind of mimicking what other people have been telling them. And so at this point, they're kind of bored with you because they can feel whatever this like more serving shift is that's happening with you. And so here the crow's looking away. And so they're kind of, whoever this person is that you've been engaging with, they're just kind of bored with you because you're not enabling what they perceive as fun, and like they're not able to manipulate you the same way anymore. Like you have firm boundaries here. Like this woman, she's like standing here with the stick and just like very firm and like hand on her hip, like, okay, I like, this is what it is, this is what I need. And this person's just done with that, just as you are done with their shit. So the only thing that can happen if you stand your ground with this particular person is it's going to take a great weight off your shoulder, and it's also going to remove a block in your receiving. So that's going to open you up to receiving much more better, healthy, aligned connections, and the abundance that flows with that. And this person's just going to go off like on their own and do their own thing. Like you are already off their radar. They're bored, they're done. So they're not going to give you a hard time like once you kick them to the curb. Like they're already ready to fly away themselves. So it's just kind of a thing where they might pinpoint you as like the asshole for like a fleeting second because you made that last call, but ultimately like they're already done with the relationship and whatever dynamic that is. So, let that go if it resonates for whoever that is. let the crow fly away. And nothing against crows, just this particular crow is out to just wreak havoc, and not in the good kind of chaos way. 5 of Wands. All right, so there is some sort of playful competitiveness coming in, and it is coming up under the 2 of Cups, so those 2 opportunities of entwinement. I get this sense because there's a shit ton of fire signs on the second line here. Like, are you getting into some sort of physical sport or some sort of, not even necessarily competitive, but something very physically playful hobby, like jujitsu or some sort of martial arts or something? There's something here about like body to body contact, or very just physically impactful on the body and being involved with other people. Like even some sort of like water sport here might be applicable, because these 2 bears, they're like on the water, but they're doing their thing of like playful, balanced competitiveness, and or just really working with those like more assertive energies. I was going to say aggressive, but that's more of like the shadow side of it. It's more like this is like assertiveness, but in a playful, safe dynamic, a playful, safe, contained space, like very intentional. There's something here about intentional anger, like that's really just oozing through, and that's going to do nothing but stoke the flames of keeping warmth and nourishment for these opportunities of fulfillment that you have coming up. It's just going to warm the soil so that your roots can be cozy and your blossoms will be even more colorful. So even if this isn't something you're engaging with, it might be something you start thinking about, in which case, like, I would take this as the call of like this will be very nourishing and supportive for you in your journey and your work. And whenever I refer to work, unless I explicitly say it's something like monetary gaining, my definition of work being the karmic work, like in the wider lens of our soul's journey. All right, and then we have Seed of Cups, 2 of Wands, exploration. Is a big theme here. Hands-on exploration. Let's see, Seed of Cups, that would be Yeah, you're at the beginning of exploring the world, your connection with the world, Gaia, Earth, specifically. Not, I mean, the full universe is all relative anyway, right? Unity, but it's something here about the flux between earth, soil, and sea and or river water, like just water and earth's entwinement here is oozing as something very important and elementally like driving here. Also moon phases. I mean, I always believe they're important, but particularly here, there's a calling for me to let you know that just observing the moon phases and how you feel during those phases, with orbital effects of the moon and water, like there's physics involved in that. Night and day, just paying attention to your inner state of experience relative to Earth experience, as an observer of the moon, an observer of the weather might be important. Night, day, where the sun is, just something about how your inner state is affected by, or I would say is aligned with, that which is around you in this earth experience for you. Inner romance, and my definition of romance is not the marketed, roses, flowers, all these things. You buy things like, and that's romantic, or you have to go to fancy dinners. It's romance because it can be outside of sexual context of dynamics. So my definition of romance being more about sensual senses, sense experience. So engaging with all of your senses, whether it's, so like, for example, strawberries are like a very romantic meal for me. White chocolate dipped strawberries. And for me, the romance in that experience is me while I'm making those white chocolate dipped strawberries. Like, it's just being able to smell the melting chocolate, being able to like feel the weight of the chocolate as it's being like wrapped around the strawberry before it's placed down to cool. And then when eating the strawberries, there's like just the texture experience that's very physical, like touch, tangible. The smells with all of that, the inner texture of the strawberry with the seeds, and then the crunch of the chocolate. Like, really, romance to me being mindful